everyone, welcome to Pai's Kitchen. So today we are going to make an Indian dish. Now usually when I go out to restaurants, I'm not one of those people who like to order their regular dish every time. I like to change it up. Except when I go to an Indian restaurant, I always order a couple things every single time, and this is one of them. I am making an eggplant dish called Baingan Bharta, and my apologies if I didn't pronounce that correctly. It's this luscious, thick eggplant dish, almost like a curry, but it also works as a dip. It's so good and really easy. Let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is cook your eggplant until it's really, really soft. Now you can do that a couple of ways, but my favorite way is to actually put it under the broiler until it's completely black on the outside. I'll put instructions on how I got this. It took about 45 minutes to an hour. Yes, that long. That's how you ensure you get like a nice smoky flavor that penetrates through to the eggplant. I mean, if you're in a rush, you can even microwave it, but you're not gonna get that smoky flavor. And now I'm just gonna open this up and dig out the eggplant. Ooh, look at that. And I'm gonna try my best to not get so much ash on the flesh, but the eggplant should be super soft that you can just sort of dig it out with a spoon. Oh yes, look at that. Look how soft that is. And you can totally do this in advance. Usually what I would do is if I want to cook this tomorrow, I'll roast the eggplant today, put the flesh in the fridge. So, oh, I can smell the smokiness. That's gonna add so much flavor. So yes, I know the flesh doesn't look great right now, but it will be delicious. Super easy. This is a one-pot dish. From this point onward, I'm just gonna heat up some oil, just enough to cover the bottom of your pot. And then I'm gonna right away go in with some cumin seeds. And I want the cumin seeds to toast in this oil. And you see, because they'll start to bubble and crackle a little bit. And once the cumin seeds have toasted, you're gonna start to smell it in the air. The color is gonna darken a little bit. Make sure you keep stirring so you don't get any pockets of, hot spots and whatnot. Oh, that looks amazing. So now, immediately I'm gonna go in with my ground coriander and turmeric. And I'm only gonna toast that because they're ground for like 10 seconds, like I'm done. So now I need to stop it from burning by adding my other vegetables. So I've got some onion, and that'll drop the temperature right away and make sure you don't burn your spices. If you're working with whole spices, obviously it's gonna take longer time to toast, but if you're adding ground spices to oil, it's almost instant, because they're so fine. Now to the onion, I'm also gonna do some garlic and ginger. Onion, garlic, and ginger. Like, such a good combination and such a classic in Indian cuisine. And some green chilies. So I'm using some jalapeno. I did remove the pith and the seeds, because I want to be able to add some dried chilies as well. So I'm going to get that stirred up and cooked up until the onion is soft. I'm going to add a little bit of salt though. The salt will help draw out moisture, will help it soften faster. So the onion is partially cooked. It's not completely soft yet, but at this point I want to add my tomatoes. I'm adding these aroma tomatoes, and I want to give them a chance to cook down with everything else. So now the tomatoes are soft, the onions are translucent. This looks like it would be good on fish. Like I can visualize a nice piece of pan-fried fish with this on top. Now, if you want to add more spices, you can. I'm making a version that uses, some basic spices that most people would already have at home. But if you want to add some garam masala, if you want to add some asafoetida, if you've got some cool Indian spices, you can definitely throw that in. It's kind of up to you, really, what flavors you're going for. Now, at this point, I'm going to add my eggplant. Woo! And if you can choose a younger eggplant, that would be better because there aren't as many seeds. I don't really have much of a choice when I go to my store. It's just kind of is what it is. There we go. Get that mixed up, and just stirring will tear apart the eggplant. Now I'm also gonna add peas. This is optional, but I just love that pop of color and also the different texture that the peas give. I'm just doing frozen. I also wanna add, almost forgot, some cayenne pepper. And if you're wondering, well, why are you adding both green chilies and cayenne pepper? And that's because even though they're both spicy agents, they also have different flavors. So don't think of chilies as just adding heat. Green chilies have a unique flavor, dried chilies have another unique flavor, fresh red ones have a different flavor. So when you add two, then you get two different flavors. So now this is pretty thick. I'm gonna add a little liquid, a little water, so that it has time to simmer. So I'm gonna let this simmer for another maybe 15 minutes to allow the peas to cook and all the flavors to mingle. And when the peas start to take on the stain of the turmeric, that's kind of how you know it's getting there. Now, I'm also gonna add a little more salt at this point to season the eggplant. Stir that in. And so this is sort of the consistency that I like. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to let it simmer covered so it doesn't dry. When I'm not looking, I turn around and it's all like stuck to the hot. So if I keep it covered on low heat, then I won't lose much liquid. See you in a little. And the time has come. Woo, look at that. That is perfect consistency. Oh yeah, and see how the peas have now taken on a slight tint of yellow? That's usually like my cue that, okay, we're at least very close of all to the flavors mingling. So now you want to taste for salt because everybody's eggplant size is different and onion size is different. And for something like this, you want your seasoning to be spot on. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's perfect. It could even use a little more heat, but I'm gonna just stop here. Now, keep in mind, you're gonna probably put this on rice or bread or something, so the seasoning has to be pretty strong. I'm gonna finish it off with some fresh cilantro. And that just adds such minty, cooling freshness. Instantly looks fresh. Gorgeous. Let's dish it up. Look at that. So the consistency is more like a dip. So I love eating this with bread or crackers or whatever, but over rice is really good too, or just as a side dish to other proteins that you've got. Oh, and look how cute that is. That looks so good. So I've got some toasted flatbread that just came out. This is not traditional naan, but close enough, I think. And that's how I'm gonna eat it. Oh, that smell. Love it. Love these spices. Oh, the texture of that eggplant is like silky and luscious and smooth. And then you bite into the peas and you get a little pop and just wonderful aroma of those spices. I mean, cumin, coriander, and turmeric are just matches made in heaven. And once you've mixed the eggplant, like when you finish cooking the eggplant at first, you smell the smokiness really strongly. But once it's mixed with all that spices, the smokiness is mellowed out quite a bit and it's mingled with everything. And it doesn't taste like super smoky, but you know that it adds a lot of robustness to this dish that doesn't have any, it's vegan. What do you know? I've made a vegan dish by accident. And it's so good and it's super easy. So if you are an eggplant lover, definitely give this one a try. And if you make the eggplant in advance, you roast it in advance, it's just a snap to make, right? So the recipe, as always, will be on paiskitchen.com. When you make it, send me a photo. Or if you have your own version of Baingan Bharta and you want to share with me, let me know in the comments what you like to add to it. And I will see you next time for your next delicious adventure.